to the Roda Team podcast, where we explore the slow life, the good life, and Central Coast real estate. I'm your host, Heather Roda. We hope you enjoy this episode. And this episode is hosted by our team member, Serena Roda.
Hi, I'm Serena Roda. I'll be hosting today's episode of the Roda Team podcast, highlighting the North County Restaurant Group, and Eric Peterson is here as a co-owner representing the company.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So, Eric, the local area is definitely becoming a spot for tourists,
Yes.
checking out the wine countries, whether it's people just coming to visit or potentially looking to buy a home here. How has that been affecting your business, or have you noticed that?
It's been great. Like it's definitely since kind of 2020 when COVID hit, I think that's when it really changed. But we saw it mostly in Paso Robles. We have restaurants in Paso Robles, Atascadero, and Templeton, but Paso has made a huge change, like 20% increases in volume at the restaurant. I don't think it's just our restaurants. I think restaurants around the whole area. And a lot of it, I think, was a lot of people from kind of the Bay Area, LA, San Diego, and international travelers. So we've seen that before in the past, but nothing like we have in the last couple of years.
So it's even international.
Yes, yeah. The wine. I mean, Paso Robles it's the best. Like maybe I'm biased because I live here, but I think it's the best region for wine.
Well, on that note, you are native to the Central Coast of California. You were born and raised in Atascadero, went to Atascadero High School.
Yep.
Graduated from Cal Poly.
Yep.
And how did you end up being lucky enough to stay in the area?
It's a good question. I know it is hard. Lucky. I guess my parents helped me get through school. I worked full time through school. So I full time took, 12 to 15 credits I started at Quest at Cal Poly. And then after Cal Poly, my partner and I were roommates at school, and they train you for, going to the job fairs and getting the big job at Ernst & Young in San Francisco or these big firms. And it was just something we didn't want to do. And we had worked in the restaurant industry basically since I was 14, my partner Trevor since he was 16, and they say, do what you know. So it was kind of like, all right, we're graduating. Do we want to go get these corporate jobs? And we took a lot less money. Like we had friends that were like getting 6 figures right out of college and moving to San Francisco and doing this and that. But we just wanted to be our own bosses and run our own thing. And I think we got lucky that our first restaurant was a success. And here we are 10 restaurants later.
And can you tell me a little bit more about your first restaurant and how that came about?
So Guest House Grill was our first restaurant, and it was my senior project at Cal Poly. So my roommate Trevor had already graduated, and we were roommates, so he was just kind of hanging out for that last quarter. We had started the restaurant. I needed to do a senior project, so we did that. And Guest House Grill was just kind of a little neighborhood grill, steaks, seafood, pastas, salads, burgers. It was at this funky little spot at the end of a shopping center, but it had this, beautiful patio at the end. And it was 2008 when we opened, which was that, recession.
Yeah, the first.
So it was really hard, but I think it taught us how to survive in, a harder time. So it made us stronger, I think, moving forward. So we got through that in 2008, 9, 10, and just kept going up from there.
Okay. And I know also you mentioned in your history that your grandmother started 2 restaurants in Atascadero and Paso.
Yeah.
And did you see, how she grew those businesses over time?
Yeah, my background came from a nighttime kind of restaurant, but yes, as a kid, she actually opened one down in Torrance, California, I think she was 45 when she opened her first one. Yeah, and then she came out to Atascadero in 1985 to open Country Touch. She opened Touch of Paso in, I think, 87 or 88, and she actually opened Touch of Mexico. Have you been?
Yes.
Do you know where that is?
Yep.
And she started that one.
Okay.
But she ended up selling that to somebody else. But so yeah, when we were kids, like we were 8 and 9 years old, we would play restaurant after hours. So we would go in there and I would cook and my little sister would pretend she was a waitress and we would play in the restaurant. So I guess it was in my blood from a young age. And I would look at my grandma, and it was cool to see that she was her own boss and ran her own company, and she made a nice living. And so she was definitely a big influence, I think, on me wanting to do this.
Perfect. And through your career as a restaurateur, could you give us maybe a background on who the top 3 most influential people are, or just a few influential people in your career path?
That's tough. There's been a lot of people. I'm going to offend people by leaving some out.
I know it is a hard question to answer.
It is. But I mean, the first one that comes to mind, I guess, is my dad. My dad's always been that guy who's just worked hard. Like, he's been in the yard all day, every day, my whole life. Like, he's always working. He's always working hard. And then when he actually kind of retired from his job, and when I opened Guest House, he was there helping me build it, like, for free. And to this day, he still works with me for free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's 70. He's 70 years old, and I think I just got my work ethic from him, seeing him as a kid, just constantly working. He's helped me physically, literally build every single restaurant that we have. And he's 70 years old, and he's still, right now, he's out there. He's out there helping and building stuff. So my dad, for sure. And then I think my partners, Colin and Trevor, they say surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. And I think Colin and Trevor are smarter than me. I'm just the loudest and talk the most. So people know me more than them. But Colin was a huge mentor of mine. He owns Wyrick Lumber in Templeton. And then Trevor, he's kind of the yin to my yang, I guess, where I get excited about every opportunity. Like, everything I see is like, oh, we could do this, or we could do that, or we could open this. And sometimes it's unrealistic, and Trevor always kind of brings things back to home. So I've really respected the way he looks at stuff, and it was a really good balance for us. I think that's why we've been successful.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
to have such a
it
good
works.
team.
Yeah.
So you have a great team of people that you're working with, Eric. Now, I think it would be great for our listeners to hear about the various locations that you have. So you said you have 10 entities now.
I think it's 10. Yeah. We're opening a few more right now. So moving south to north is going to how I always do it in my head too. But so Guest House Grill is the southernmost, and that's lunch and dinner, casual kind of neighborhood feel. And then it's funny, the 3 in Itasca are on the same road on El Camino. Yeah. So Guest House Grill, and then just right up the street is Country Touch Cafe, which is breakfast and lunch. Just a good home cooked basic breakfast, bacon and eggs and the whole deal. But it's a charming, cute little breakfast place. And then Streetside Ale House is in the Atascadero. And then right across the street, we're now in the process of opening Cielo, or it's like an Italian restaurant downstairs. And then it's got a rooftop bar on the 4th floor where there's apartments on the 2nd and 3rd. So we'll have those 4 in Atascadero. And then in Templeton, we have Jack's Bar and Grill, which is right across the street from the old AJ Spurs. And that's been hugely successful for us. Also kind of a neighborhood kind of pub vibe. And then we recently purchased Kitchenette right down the street. And that's more of it's breakfast only, breakfast and lunch, but it's more brunchy, unique, kind of fun breakfast items, not the classic kind of home cooked breakfast. And then going into Paso, we have Streetside Paso, which is located right downtown. We have Touch of Paso, which is kind of a sister restaurant to Country Touch, another breakfast place. And then we have Comfort American Kitchen, which is out at the River Oaks Golf Course. And that's a unique location. It's pretty far out, but people coming into town wouldn't really see it or know about it. But it's a really beautiful venue when you get out there. It's on this little 6-hole golf course with these waterfalls and creeks and this big lawn area. We have a concert starting out there, so we have live bands every Saturday, and we just got a liquor license to have like a full bar out there. So we're really excited about that, and that place is going really well. And is that 9, 10? And
then what about the pizza?
And then we did our first shot at a ghost restaurant. Are you familiar with what that is?
No, tell us a little bit about it.
A ghost restaurant, I think they do it a lot more in big cities. There's different terminology for it, but basically we're doing it out of one of our kitchens, but we marketed where there is no location. So we did the logo, the website, the whole deal, and we're serving pizzas, and it's a wood-fired stone oven, but it's takeout only. So it's just through the delivery apps. I think we're slowly going to incorporate pickup where you can call it in.
Okay.
And it's going pretty well, but I think it's a unique concept for people because people see it and like, well, where is this? What is this? Yeah. So it's doing okay, but I don't know if we're a big enough town to see it really take off where I think the big cities they're working. But so far it's worth doing. So we're keep doing it. And I think maybe over time it will grow because the takeout game right now is unreal. Like that's 10%.
You're still seeing.
Yeah, still. Yeah, I think people have just gotten used to that home delivery and like it. And so that's why we kind of thought of the Spinney's Pizza thing. Yeah. So
I think it's a great
try
idea.
it. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, have you? All right.
And it's so convenient.
Yeah,
it shows up right at your door.
Yeah, exactly.
I really feel like you with all the locations that you have really can't go wrong. Most of them, all of them, if not, are family friendly, right?
Yes, they are. No, thank you. Yeah, they are.
You can either dine in, take out.
Yep.
And as far as pizza, so basically we have the whole day covered. We can
Yeah,
make
we
breakfast
try.
at
Yeah,
any one of your
Yep.
restaurants. Take your family out.
Yep.
And then even later into the evening, if you're looking to go out with a group of friends, I know we often will end up
Yep.
at Streetside
Yep.
having cocktails and appetizers.
Yeah, we've covered the whole gambit, I think. We got to get we're getting t-shirts made where it says like all the restaurants says, because we have people that have done that where they've eaten breakfast at one, and it's a joke, but it is. There are people, contests are you do.
I know that you had also last fall or last spring you did the passport.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, we're going to be doing that again.
Okay.
I think we're going to do it this fall again. But yeah, like we did the stamp thing, or if you go to all the restaurants, you got a $50 gift card to the restaurant of your choice. And then we did like a $500 cash giveaway at the end of it or something like that. But it was cool. It was fun. A lot of people did it.
Successful?
Yeah, it was we're doing it again this fall, but we've got a few more locations since last year.
Yeah.
So we'll add to the mix. And it was fun. I think people thought it was fun. And our marketing director, Brittany, who's awesome, made these cool little passport
They were perfect.
booklets. Yeah,
they looked
cool.
like a true passport that you're trying to go to each country and said, we're going to go enjoy food.
She got the stamps to kind of look like. Did you ever see them?
I did. Well, from Streetside.
Okay, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, she did a good job.
And I know, so other ways in the community, I know you guys are big supporters of the local community and giving back. I did notice that you also give a discount to all firefighters, law enforcement, and military. Yeah, we found. I mean, obviously they put their lives on the line every day where we deal with our petty stuff, but it's been nice having them around. Like there's been multiple times in the restaurants where we've had someone choking on something. We had, a woman pass out completely on the floor, and all those times there was a paramedic, a firefighter, a police officer, or a sheriff like in the restaurant. That's awesome.
So it's like one, to get back to what they do, and then two, we want those people around, and they've literally come in. I want to say dozens of times it's happened where someone has needed someone and someone's in the restaurant. It's
definitely a convenience to have those people supporting our community and, like you said, putting their lives on the line for us.
Yes, for sure.
And I know that, do you also do a few other fundraisers during the year?
We try to do everything we can. So we do everything from the small little fundraisers that people are doing to, whether it's just a gift card that they can raffle off to this or that. But we donate a lot to, because I'm born and raised in Atascadero, the Greyhound Foundation, the Lighthouse, if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
They've done an amazing job of getting kids off drugs in high school. And the program that they've built, a lot of our local leaders, and Don Clicker and Jim Stecker and Rolf Nelson, I'm sure I'm leaving a lot out, but those guys have put in a lot of time and energy into this thing. So we really try to support them with that. And they've picked that up nationally. So they built this Lighthouse thing that, helps these kids. And I think it's been noticed nationally where other cities are picking up their model and using it there.
That's amazing.
So that's another big one. But yeah, like the town has been really good to us. So we more and more try to give back as much as we can.
I know the Lighthouse fundraiser specifically has been done at the guest house.
We did one. So we'll do like a monthly thing for random charities. Mm-hmm. So every month, like we'll do a night where it's like, all right, all the profits are going to this charity. So we've done that with Lighthouse.
I think that's phenomenal that you give 100% of your
it helps. Like, and it helps us because it makes a slower night busier. It helps them. They're there, selling stuff that they can generate more money. And we raised thousands of dollars in one night just at a little, dinner restaurant. So yeah, we're always trying to think of creative ways that we can give back.
Well, and I think as far as the community goes, if they do want to support that, I felt a really easy way, because sometimes it's intimidating. You think, they're going to be crazy busy. You don't want to go in and sit down. Yeah. Is I've ordered ahead. Like I mark it in my calendar to know that night it's going to happen.
A lot of people will do that. That's good.
And you guys have always been super
Yeah, because all the sales, reliable, whether it's takeout or not. So a lot of people will call in to support if they don't want to go into the busy restaurant.
I mean, if you can get in, that's great, and then you can enjoy a night out too.
And they're fun because it is such a local community. I like going in on those nights because it is. I know half the people that are in, old teachers and my old principal I'm friends with, and it's fun. Good
to see. Yeah, like you said, the whole community supporting that. What was one of the tools that you find indispensable? Something that came out of COVID, out of the last couple of years that you think wow, I don't know that we would have gone down this road had these circumstances not happened.
Yeah, no. The biggest thing that came out of it was takeout. Or excuse me, not takeout. We've always done takeout, but online ordering.
Okay.
So we had talked about online ordering for, I would say, years before. But I think I was always maybe either too lazy or thought, people wouldn't want to like order, a local restaurant that way, or wouldn't understand how. My parents, God bless them, my dad doesn't ever want to order anything off his phone. So, but when COVID hit and we had to start doing that, I think we had it up in 4 days. And that was the hardest year we all worked in the restaurant industry. Like it was tough, but we got through it. But yes, so that really helped. And it's something that we still use today. So the silver lining of that is I think everybody got their online game up, and the DoorDash and the Uber Eats. And it's a whole new facet of our business now that didn't really exist 5-10 years ago.
So it basically sped up the process.
Exactly. Yeah, we had to get it done that day. Yeah, because who knows how many more years I would have gone not doing it.
So had you kind of already thought through the process of how that would come about, and you hadn't had the time to have it actually take place?
Exactly. Like a lot of the POS systems, which is the computer systems where you add everything in, a lot of them already have that built in. But I think even their market or industry had to start to adapt real quick too, to say, all right, everybody's doing this now. And to this day, they're still adding features and everything to make the online ordering process easier. But that was a big thing that helped us survive that. And then now we still use today, even when things aren't closed down.
That's awesome. So, and you're still seeing, even with the increase in takeout, you're still seeing that the restaurants themselves are full and busy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the restaurants are full. I mean, sales are higher. I think it's more adding sales than moving them from inside to takeout. Because I think it reaches a whole new market of people. Like you have kids, like when I had young kids, we were in our pajamas and, all day. It's like, we're not going out. But now that we can do that, I didn't lose that customer from coming in because they weren't coming anyway, but I just gained them they'll now do this takeout order. And it's so convenient for everybody now with the delivery and everything.
And especially if you can drive up and you.
Yeah, no, and that was huge too.
You never had to get out of the car.
I know, that was the best. Yeah.
So you could come in your
Yeah, exactly.
So is there something from your success that you didn't expect along the way? Like something that stands out to you that you're thinking, wow, I never saw this happening, or I never.
I guess all of it. Like, yeah, having 10 restaurants, like you're right. One to me was, but yeah, I remember we had goals that was like the life goal that we achieved like 5 years in. So it was like, wow, like we're here, and then we kept growing. And so I think just, where we're at was never part of the plan, or never a place that I thought we would be. And we're still wanting to grow and keep going. So I'm excited to see what the next decade brings as well.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You're still looking to grow. And I think we might have had a conversation one time at the gym where you were like, even if I won the lottery and I think about what would I do tomorrow,
I would do more.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Then, so I'm going to ask the random question that, so being in the restaurant business, I'm sure you get to enjoy lots of amazing food, all varieties. Is there one thing, if you could pick one thing that you're going to eat every day for the rest of your life, is there one thing that you would pick?
You know what's funny? The first thing that comes to mind is something we don't own. It's sushi.
Okay.
I think my wife and I and the kids go to sushi more. Maybe it's because we have the other restaurants, but I'd have to say sushi is probably my favorite food that I could eat forever.
Well, it's convenient that we live here too.
Right? We have a lot of good places on the Central Coast for sure. Yes.
A fresh fish from Robles.
Yeah, it is. It's so we're lucky to have it, and I think maybe that's why. But yeah, sushi's my go-to.
And then what about if you could only listen to one song or one genre the rest of your life? Is there one that you really...
Can I pick a band?
Yes, you can.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam?
Yeah. I feel like, they've been my favorite for a really long. I like all kinds of music. All kinds. If I had to pick one, I think Pearl Jam albums I can just listen to over and over and all of them. So yeah, Great. I'm a nerd about Pearl Jam. Yeah.
Good. Child of the 90s?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I didn't get into them until later, which I had a cousin who was a diehard fan, and it wasn't until my mid-20s that I really started listening to their albums. And then from that day forward, I've just listened to them ever since.
But I wanted to ask, or just have you kind of share your venture in the beginning, going from owning one restaurant in Atascadero to going to your next venture out of state. So it's hard enough to have a business locally and handle the ins and outs when you're right there, but then you and your partners decide to go to Oregon.
Yeah, I think that I left that out because we don't own those now, but our second restaurant was in Oregon. But at that point, I was single, my partner Trevor was single, and we had guest house. And a long story, this opportunity presented itself up in Oregon. It was this beautiful restaurant right on a lake. So it was just like being on vacation every day. It was the best times of my life. I think he had a serious girlfriend who's now his wife. So he said, hey, I'll stay here and run guest house. And I said, all right, I'll go up there and do this. And it was just seasonal. So we also thought that fit, where I could just go up there for 6 months, hopefully, do well at the restaurant, and then I'll come back and help. And it was tough. I think both of us were a little nervous because it was always him and I together, every day at guest house. So I think he was a little nervous to be at guest house by himself. And then I was nervous to be up there by myself because we were 24 and 25, I think, at that point. And it was tough and to walk away because I was so hands-on at guest house. But I think it helped us, like all the stuff we learned. We did that for 10 years up in Oregon. And then once I had kids, it was just too hard to go back and forth. Yeah.
But you still had the team aspect of the two of you working together. So you always had him as a resource. He always had you as a resource.
Yep. And we had a good support team. We had a couple of our best buddies that worked with us that, one ended up coming up with me the second year. So we had two kind of guys that knew the restaurant business, and then our other buddy and Trevor stayed home. So to this day, it's your team. Yeah. We almost don't open another restaurant unless we have the people. The people is the number one thing. So that was kind of how we could do it, is that we had the people to do it. We had a lot of help along the way.
That's awesome. Yeah. And like you said, you're still growing and you're still opening restaurants with the new restaurant in Atascadero. Can you share a little bit about that, or what we should expect in the community?
Yeah, we're really excited. I think Atascadero needs a lot more restaurants. It's kind of gotten a bad reputation, but it's growing. I think the last 5 to 10 years, it's gotten so much better. We have so many more fun little beer bars and breweries, and with Streetside downtown, there's that Ancient Owl across the street. Have you been there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a cool spot. And then Cielo is kind of right there, which is our Italian place. So yeah, we're doing all pastas. We do have, like 5 or 6 entrees, like a fish, a steak, a seafood thing. And probably, I think there's 12 different pasta dishes that our chefs have come up with. And Kevin, our head chef there, he worked in Italy for 6 months, and then he worked in Pennsylvania in an Italian restaurant for 13 years. So he's cooks amazing food. And I think just Atascadero needs some more selection. So yeah, we'll do that. We got the full bar downstairs. We've got a great guy from Oregon that actually worked with us in Oregon, who's doing all the cocktail program for us down here. And then the rooftop bar, I think, is just going to be a fun spot. So you'll go into Cielo, we'll take you to the elevator, and it goes up to the rooftop. And we've got a little kitchen up there and a little bar in this room up there where we're going to be doing more specialty, unique cocktails up on the roof. And it's a beautiful view. Like it is. It's like sits right in the middle, and you look out to the west and the beautiful hills with the oak trees. You almost don't even see a building when you look out that way. Yeah, it's really cool. And then the other side, you're looking right down on Sunken Gardens downtown, where they do the car show and all the fun of the cornhole tournament they do, the Tamale Festival. Atascadero's got so many fun events these days. The Winter Wonderland. We have a new, do you know who Terry Banish is?
I'm not familiar.
She's kind of taken the cities, getting all these fun events to come here, and she's done an incredible job. And now Atascadero has, I feel like, a great event at least once a month, if not more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know as a local, I'm not native to the area, but I've been here for 20 years now. Yeah. And worked in Paso for quite a long time. And now Paso's great, and there's a lot to do in Paso, but being a local and someone who is more of an introvert, we tend to go to Atascadero because even though it's busy in Atascadero, it's easier to get into the restaurant.
Totally, it is. It's not as busy. There's not the tourism. So yeah, Atascadero is more of that little local vibe. But I think more and more people are going there because it is growing. Yeah.
It's growing. I mean, it's getting busier. We've seen it just in the last year, definitely growing and getting busier.
Well, and Atascadero is such a great place to stay too, because if you're coming to Paso to taste wine, a lot of people will stay in Atascadero because the highway that goes to the beach is in Atascadero. So you can go straight over to Morro Bay, You can go straight up. You're 10 minutes away from Paso, and then you're only, 15 or 20 minutes from San Luis. So I think at Atascadero, the more and more people come here, seeing it's a nice centralized location to experience Atascadero itself, San Luis, Morro Bay, Cayucas, Cambria, and Paso, and all the wineries. So
Definitely.
it's a good spot to be.
Eric, what would be the easiest way for someone to find out about the events or updates that you might be having at your restaurant?
I think the best thing is because we have so many different restaurants, we have NorthCountyRestaurantGroup.com. So if you go to that site, if you forget all the other restaurants, if you go to NorthCountyRestaurantGroup.com, it has all the links to all the different restaurants, and then all the websites are on there, that are constantly being updated. And that's probably the best way to see all the information. And we have an HR director marketing director who's always putting stuff on Facebook and social media. But if you go to NorthCountyRestaurantGroup.com,
you'll be able to see the whole group.
You'll be able to see the whole deal.
All of them. I know I'm personally looking forward to getting out to the Comfort American Kitchen. To listen to the live music this week or on the weekends in the summer. And you said they're Saturday nights?
Every Saturday from 5 to 8 from now until September, the first weekend in September.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So now even September,
all summer long. Yep.
That's great. So definitely a great place to get it. You said you described the venue already.
It's beautiful out there.
Get out. Yeah. You said people can bring blankets.
Yeah, people do. They bring blankets. There's dancing all on the grass. It's on the golf course.
Okay.
It's beautiful out there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to it. So cheers to everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thanks,
and
Serena.
thanks, Eric, so much
Thank you for having me. Yeah, appreciate it.
Chat with us.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening. We welcome your feedback in the comments, and you can also subscribe and follow us on social media at the Roda Team. We will leave you just as we greeted you with music by local musician Lee Angels of Stagecoach 3. Take it away, Lee.